good health to everyone. Benedictine International School has been supporting these Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDG, founded by the United Nations in 2015. This is the kind of advocacy that makes BIS feel so proud and great to see our students doing their part to make these global goals successful. And once again, for this school year 2021-2022, we would like to acknowledge these students with the guidance of their respective mentors for coming up with SDG presentations that are worthy, timely, and relevant. Same appreciation and recognition are given to Mr. Fred Pelonia and Ms. Verushka Villapana for making this SDG possible. So on behalf of Ms. Joan Marie Bondo Antonio, our school director, congratulations to everyone for making these SDG initiatives successful. God bless.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Hi, I'm Celine Jessica Iturralde.
Hello, my name is Rodrigo Santino Beretta Santiago.
Hello, my name is Karen Ashley M. Arroyo.
Hello, my name is Cedric.
And hello, I am JJ Flavier. I will be the main speaker for this video. And we will be presenting an advocacy research on the lack of quality education in the Philippines. We need to get one thing straight. What is quality education? What constitutes it? Today, we have the least number of barriers preventing information from reaching everybody. This information is finding their way online, and even if you don't own a computer to access this information, you can publicly rent one out, at the library for instance. Simply having this information available, however, does not guarantee quality education. The more information you absorb, understand, and are able to teach back, the higher the quality of education is. You can think of it like a computer. Information is input to your brain. You then process this information and save it in your long-term memory. If you're able to output it to somebody else and teach them without loss of information, then you've successfully learned it. However, the learning aspect does not completely constitute quality education. The emotional and mental well-being of students are just as important. Schools have an impact on practically everyone, including students, faculty, and staff. And schools have the opportunity to share humankind's assets while empowering youth. Incorporating well-being into the educational experiences of students can help boost students' intrinsic motivation, academic performance, and school contentment. It can also reduce disciplinary issues and contribute to personal, community, and national thriving. Studies have even shown that students that are happier learn more effectively. Therefore, we can say that quality education is one that fosters well-being and helps students learn effectively at the same time. Now that we have discussed what you needed to know, we will now move on to the brief background of study.
This advocacy research is conducted by students at Benedictine International School, a school that aims to help children succeed not just in school but in all avenues of life. This video focuses on SDG Goal 4, Quality Education, and will contain the following: the objectives of the research, ways to spread awareness of the lack of quality education, the importance/significance of the topic to present reality.
Quality education is now an issue in the Filipino society, even before COVID-19 struck and caused problems for millions of families. The country's financial status is one of the top factors that add to the growing education issues in the Philippines. Furthermore, more children, youth, and adults can't get a leg up and are thus left behind due to unfair access to learning.
It should be accepted that quality education is key to a healthy life. The United Nations have noted its importance, setting it as number 4 in their group of Sustainable Development Goals. They point out that education enables upward socioeconomic mobility and is key to escaping poverty.
What steps can you take to help create greater awareness of the importance of quality education? By making use of social media, you can promote the lack of quality education in the country. Applications like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter can be used to post photos, videos, and other forms of multimedia to gain exposure. What are the issues in the Philippines education that need to be resolved? Some people in the Philippines have no access to decent Wi-Fi and/or electronic devices. Decent Wi-Fi is necessary to join classes, otherwise you can disconnect more frequently and affect your educational experience. The Philippines educational system is still American orientation, or in other words, financial capacity based, meaning that higher and better education is a privilege more than it is a right. These are our objectives of the study: to find out the cause of the lack of quality education today, and to bring to light that education is not a privilege and it is a right. Children are the future of every country, including the Philippines, and the quality of a country's education determines its future as the next generations onward will use what they learn from school to become a working member of the society. The scope will cover mostly online research, or at most, online interviews of acquaintances or survey forms. We are limited by the pandemic such that we cannot conduct face-to-face interviews or even house-to-house interviews in a neighborhood. However, the researchers will do their best to have the study include backed data from legitimate sources and websites and to get as many responses as possible.
The main output would be an essay-type video presentation containing the data collected with the several survey questions that the researchers have produced. Had we not thought of this output, you would not be watching this video. This video falls under the qualitative research category.
So as you can see on my screen right now, we created the survey forms with the intent of gaining a different perspective on quality education by teachers and students, and we created separate forms for public school students and BIS school students and teachers. So yeah, sadly, we weren't able to get most of the responses that we needed, specifically for public school students and teachers and Benedictine International School students, but we did get enough for teachers in the end. But here, as you can see the graph right over here, it's just going to be in the middle of the screen. So yeah, moving on. First and foremost, there were similar answers with the teachers in concern to the budget that was being allocated to education. They also gave insightful answers to the other survey questions, which we appreciate very much. Last but not the least, most students are rather satisfied with the current curriculum. They are thankful for being involved and are thankful to the teachers who are trying their best to give them a good education. Alright, so this entire project was certainly a learning experience for all of us. And for me personally, I was really invested into the topic itself, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I hope my other groupmates were too. What we took away from this is that there's no universal definition of quality education. It's different for everyone. And for example, there are kids out there that can adapt themselves to the curriculum and have no problems with it, but there are other students out there that like to think outside the box and they don't find it pleasant being limited to just learning something standardized, you know? And personally, I think quality will truly be in education when there will be highly complex AIs that will be able to properly assess the needs and wants of each individual student. Personalized education, to me, is quality education because they attend to the wants and needs of each individual student. Right now, though, this is impossible, but as time goes by, I'm pretty sure humans will do what they're best at: innovation. We invented languages over time, we invented culture, we invented different things that we did not even expect, you know? Like, automated electronic machinery wasn't something we even thought about in the past, like the past. So maybe in the future, we'll see quality education. Maybe if we change our perspectives to increase our understanding, to seek to understand the bigger picture, it seems that the future is bright for the next generations. Thank you for watching.
Good day. My name is Maria Gina Uba, and my groupmates are Jacob Troncales, Kira Miles Chua, Nathan Lucasi, and Jairus Ragwa. COVID-19, which began in 2019 and landed here in March 2020, brought a lot of change in our lives. Due to the widespread infection, minors were prevented from leaving their homes, which had a huge impact on their health and development of all children. Due to the restrictive containment, children have less physical exercises resulting to obesity. They also lack outdoor activities and sunlight exposure, which cause vitamin D deficiency. In addition, social gatherings were disrupted and children were not allowed to physically see their relatives and their friends, which had an effect on their mental health. The question our group wants to answer is, how can Filipinos aged 11 to 17 years old be informed about good health and well-being while staying at home? The main objective of this research was educate Filipinos ages 11 to 17 years old about good health and well-being. Our specific objectives are to create a 5-minute video about healthy activities that can be done at home by 11 to 17 years old, and to determine if social media platforms can be used in promoting good health and well-being among 11 to 17 years old.
Our initial target was to get 30 respondents aged 11 to 17 years old who have access to Facebook and Google Forms. A 5-minute video which the group created promoting good health and well-being while staying at home was uploaded on Facebook on March 10 to 18, 2022. The respondents were asked to watch the video and answer the survey using Google Forms. They were also encouraged to share the video to all people. Let's take a look at the video that was posted.
Good day! In this video, we will talk about exercise, nutrition, mental health, and recreational activities that we can do at home. Health is wealth, physically and mentally. Health refers to the physical and mental state of a human being. To date, staying healthy is not an option. It is a must to have a healthy and happy life. And self-care is the key. Indeed, we are what we eat and think. Yes, the basic codes of good health are always related to the food we eat, what we think, and the way we relax and unwind. And we have to think thought every day. So stay healthy, guys!
Here are the benefits of exercise. Number 1, exercise controls weight. Number 2, exercise combats health conditions and diseases. Number 3, exercise improves mood. Number 4, exercise boosts energy. Number 5, exercise promotes better sleep. And number 6, exercise can be fun and social. It can be done with your family and friends. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, children and adolescents ages 6 through 17 years should do 1 hour or more of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity each day, including daily aerobic activities to strengthen bones like running or jumping, 3 days each week, and that build muscles like sit-ups, dumbbell press, and push-ups 3 days each week.
Benefits of nutrition: reduce the risk of some disease, including heart disease, diabetes, stroke, some cancer, and osteoporosis. Reduce high blood pressure, lower high calories, improve your well-being, improve your ability to fight off illness, improving your ability to recover from illness or injury, increase your energy level, and also you need at least 1,000 to 2,000 international units per day.
You may also choose like crispy kangkong over this potato bag of potato chips. If instead of buying donuts or eating them, you may try fresh fruits. Also like instead of cookies or this Pringles, you may eat seaweed. You can also have your tuna sandwich with like sunflower oil. You may try that. Let me try one of this. It's good. You are bored because you are stuck in your house. You are tapping your pen out of boredom. Then, here are some tips that will help you. Hi guys! I cannot go outside, cannot go to the movies, school. Fun activities or recreational activities might be a little tricky. If you're looking for one, then you're in luck. So arts and crafts, using your creativity. You cannot see your friends during the lockdown. Play online games with your friends or family members. But you should limit it to 2 hours. It will literally destroy your eyes. Oh, and another thing that you can do is to play board games with the family as well. So outside there is a lot of activities to do. And planting is one of them. And vegetables are the most easiest to plant. It's also good and tasty. You may try playing with other musical instruments. So, yeah. You can ride a bike, a scooter, or if you have skates, you can do that outside. Just be careful.
In the end, life is short. Eat healthy, drink plenty of water, move every day. Try to stretch in the morning. Spend more time with your loved ones. Avoid stress, learn to de-stress. Get enough sleep, remove clutter, read books every day for 10 minutes. Make your own playlist. Be honest and respect elders. Learn also to listen to your body because recognizing its message is one of the highest forms of self-love and care. Enjoy life and always love yourself.
The data gathered from the survey was analyzed and presented in a descriptive manner.
There were a total of 95 children who participated in this study, 11 to 17 years old. Most were 12 to 14 years old. Body mass index or BMI can screen for weight problems that lead to health problems. The higher the BMI, the higher the risk for certain disease. In the survey, more children had abnormal BMI, with 36.9% being overweight and obese. This may reflect an unhealthy lifestyle among these children during the lockdowns. For the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, recommends children to do exercise at least 3 times a week. Among the respondents, only 25.3% were following the recommendation. Majority, which is 74.8% of children, do less physical activities and worse. 25% had a sedentary lifestyle during the pandemic. This may be the reason why there are overweight and obese children. Snacking helps maintain energy in our body. In this study, only 34.7% of the children were consuming healthy snacks such as fruits and fibers. The rest of the respondents preferred junk foods like chips and sweets or other foods that were not considered snacks. This could also result to overweight children. Healthy sun exposure produces vitamin D. In this study, only 35.8% of the respondents follow the recommended hours of sunlight exposure. The rest do not get enough sunlight, and some of them do not even go outside. Thus, vitamin D deficiency is very likely among this age group. Stress is a normal part of life. In this study, most of the respondents, which is 87.3% of children, answered feeling stress since the start of the pandemic and lockdowns. Recognizing and tackling stress early among children can help them improve their long-term mental and physical health. Seeking out fun activities may help alleviate stress during lockdowns. Doing something you enjoy can distract you from problems that help you cope with the new normal. In this study, less than 50% of the children felt they knew how to overcome their boredom. and stress at home. 56.9% believed they have nothing fun to do at home during the lockdown most days of the week.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends up to 2 hours of screen time to avoid temporary and permanent damage to the eyes. This study, Figure 8, shows that less children, 35.8%, are following the guidelines, and more children, 64.2%, were spending more than 2 hours a day using their gadgets or watching TV. This might be the only entertainment or fun activity they think they can do at home during the pandemic lockdowns. Most children, 77.9% children, have access to mobile phones, making prolonged screen time more possible for this age group, Figure 9. These children would most likely have less activity levels, which may contribute to unhealthy behavior. Studies have shown that kids who regularly get an adequate amount of sleep have improved attention, behavior, learning, memory, and overall mental and physical health. The general recommendations is to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. However, in this study, Figure 10, it shows that more than 50% of the children are lacking adequate sleep. Prolonged screen time may be one of the reasons and should be recognized and addressed. One of our objectives was to determine if social media platform can be used in promoting good health and well-being among 11 to 17 years old. The 5-minute video used in the study was publicly posted through social media on March 10, 2022. It was viewed by more than 100 people and shared 6 times in less than 24 hours. 97% of respondents use social media to interact with other people, Figure 11. This may explain how the number of viewers doubled within the week. This shows the rapid spread of information on social media, making it a good platform in educating children. The video was evaluated through a survey form. All respondents felt that the video can help them maintain good health and well-being, and most of them think they can do the recommendations shown in the video, Figure 12 and 13. Furthermore, 97.9% of the children would probably share the video to spread awareness to others.
Conclusion: as the pandemic continues to affect young people, it is a major factor of their well-being. Most of them engaged in less physical activities, extensive screen time, and poor nutrition. It is also important to recognize that children also experience stress during pandemic lockdown, since children are now active on social media, providing them helpful information on how to take care of their health and well-being.
Misinformation. It's a term you'll hear passed around a lot in modern day. Plain and simple, it's false information that's meant to deceive. And researchers conducting a study asked themselves a few questions about this topic. How much does it affect public opinion? How much has it deceived people into making bad decisions? Would it even keep spreading after the COVID-19 pandemic? These questions form the basis for the research, an advocacy against the spread of misinformation.
The researchers' main goal with this advocacy is to give people, more specifically junior high school students, the proper information they need to avoid misinformation, such as looking for reliable sources, which is using trusted websites when looking for information, or fact-checking, which is confirming whether information is factual or not. The reason students were chosen as the main group to focus on is because they are more likely to stumble upon misinformation compared to other groups of people. It is also believed that other age groups like working adults and college students are able to distinguish misinformation from factual information. It is important that students are informed of what is true and what isn't, since they are still at the age where they are being educated. And with the pandemic causing most schools to turn to online forms of education, more misinformation may spread among students through social media and the like.
The researchers used quantitative research to perform the study. This was done via surveys sent out to students ages 12 to 18, covering the ages of most junior high school students. The researchers aimed for a total of 25 responses for their survey, believing this was enough data needed for the study. The survey garnered over 28 responses, a little more than the researchers were anticipating.
Out of 28 responses the researchers had gathered, it turned out that 14-year-old subjects were the predominant age, followed by 13, 16, 15, and 17. For the question of encountering false information, 19 responses picked yes, 3 picked no, and 3 picked I don't know. Despite having run-ins with false information, 17 responses pointed to no when asked about being directly affected by said false information. On the other hand, 6 did respond with yes. The most common type of misinformation is mainstream. According to the 13 responses, political and academics both had 5 responses. The survey shows that social media is the leading platform for receiving information and news with 19 votes. It's followed by websites and news on TV. Both received 15. Although social media is the leading source for news information, it turns out that news reports on TV were the most trusted by respondents, with 22 votes. It's then followed by online websites and newspapers. Ironically, social media received the lowest number of 5 votes, only reached 5 when asked if the respondents knew how to fact check. There were 50 respondents that answered with yes, and there were 10 answered no.
19 responses were analyzed when asked about how they performed fact-checking. The consensus included TV news, legitimate news sources, and Twitter. When asked from 1 to 10 how much do you think misinformation is negatively affecting modern-day time, the average number from 25 responses was 7.64. Respondents were also asked their own opinion on misinformation's negative effects. Some of these responses make points such as, even before the pandemic, there was a mass spread of misinformation saying that injections were dangerous, and, with the existence of our cancel culture, it can ruin a person's life. Even if the piece of fake news is proven wrong, the negative image will stick to the victim no matter what. With the data gathered in mind, the researchers can come to a few conclusions. Despite the fact social media is the place most people seem to get news from, news reports seem to be one of the most reliable sources of information according to respondents. It is best to always look at the bigger picture to understand the facts completely. It's best to look at multiple sources when looking for information. When it comes to any sort of misinformation, mainstream, political, or academic, it's best to look in the right places to find reliable info. You should be very careful with what information you find, because information has the power to change lives. Thank you for listening.
Throughout the years of living in quarantine, many people are encountering one of the sorrowful experiences that they have during the pandemic. Especially the older people who are living alone are struggling with stress and anxiety. Many of them feel isolated as they try to stay safe by staying away from their friends and families. It also created unique challenges for them to face during the entire pandemic, such as aging, physical medical conditions, social circumstances, and lifestyles.
So in this current issue, we have stood up to gain insights from different elders based on their experiences as they get to live during the pandemic.
And we will have it all to obtain negative answers into positive outcome.
Hi, I am Juan Carlo.
Hi, I'm Rayoko.
My name is Reina Joey Yap from grade 10.
And I, Jeffrey Ragua.
Our SDG initiatives is about advocacy campaign about the health awareness of elders.
Our aim was to do a survey on the experiences of the elders living in the pandemic and examining physical conditions or difficulties they are currently encountering.
And the study aims to ensure the elders' health and well-being and the provision of safety protocols.
We firmly believe that this research can help us obtain accurate information about their lifestyle.
We also have confidence that our project will provide greater and beneficial results to spread awareness towards elders.
Our action plan has been demonstrated to have at least 50 plus of age as our main target for our goal.
In the course of our plan, we also question ourselves. Will the survey be useful to gain insights from elders? What are the necessary materials needed for this project? And how will the researchers gain attention in finding elder people? We have also decided to have the methodology of quantitative research for this advocacy.
During the process, we will task to perform the action through posting specific guidelines about the concerns of the elder. The process was done through accomplishing a survey form.
Once everything has been approved, we started distributing the questionnaires through specific social medias with the help of our mentors. We patiently waited for respondents to fill up the form. The procedure only took 4 consecutive days. After patiently waiting, we started gathering the questionnaires and only chose the ones that reached the desired age. Our overall respondents that we received are 55, and we only chose those who reached the ages of 50 above. The total number of the responses that were answered by many people only reached up to 50.
When we analyzed the questionnaires, we discovered few respondents who have experienced physical condition during the pandemic, such as sleeping issues, arthritis, diabetes, heart ailments, cancer, and cholesterol concerns. Here are the overall responses of the people who answered the questions.
The first question that we set in the survey was to determine if they normally take any outdoor activities or certain exercises. Choices are mentioned. We analyzed that there were only 3.1% of respondents who voluntarily do extracurricular activities, while 5.2% of people does it every other day, 10% of the respondents who does it once a week, 2.4% respondents do it every week, and 14% for none. We also asked about the amount of sleep that may have during the pandemic. From the response, there were only 12% who would get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and 4% who would sleep longer. For the question if the respondents take multivitamins, have a proper diet, and experience emotional distress to this day, 30% answered yes. For the question of they have someone to assist them in their daily activities, the majority of the respondents answered that they are supported by their families.
We can now conclude that this pandemic has changed many lives, including the elderly, especially those who need assistance in doing their daily living activities.
are the following recommended activities for elders to follow.
For people who have high cholesterol, number 1, suggest in eating heart-healthy foods such as oatmeal and fruits. Number 2, do more physical activities such as light exercises and brisk walking. Focus more on losing weight.
For people who have arthritis, number 1, try to learn some new management skills such as managing your joints and weight. Number 2, take part in performing regular exercises that can help keep your joints at a flexible state. Number 3, aim on applying heating pads or ice pack that can relieve the condition.
Respondents have also experienced sleeping late, and we decided to give along some recommendations as well. For number 1, try to avoid using any specific devices on your side for 30 minutes before sleeping. For number 2, taking a calming drink such as warm milk or tea is highly recommended before bed. Number 3, execute and meditating for 10 minutes before bed.
We consider long-term, short-term, and unintended consequences as the system thinking habit that we want to share for the research. This helps us in determining how to properly handle decision making and inform us to ensure that our decision and action are carefully thought throughout the outcome we get.
Hi, my name is Hoyong Bae from grade 10. As requirement in project collaboration, I made a research paper about the side effects of Sinovac vaccine from individuals whose age is 35 to 45. What is COVID-19? COVID-19 is a dangerous disease caused by a virus discovered in December 2019 in Wuhan, China. It is very contagious and has quickly spread around the world. It is transmitted when one individual talks, sneezes, or coughs, producing droplets of saliva containing the COVID-19 virus. In the Philippines, there are several lockdowns and variety of community quarantines happened since last year. Before, there were a lot of safety protocols that people must obey, such as wearing masks and shield at all times. Elders and children below 18 years old should stay at home. Limited dining services, transportation, recreation, and many other restrictions. However, having Metro Manila under alert level 1, many things change, not so strict protocols, everybody can go out from their houses. But still, we should not forget COVID-19 is still there. We should not let our guard down. We still need to protect ourselves for our family and relatives. Even numerous people received vaccination for the virus. COVID-19 vaccination help protect people from getting COVID-19. Some people have side effects from the vaccine, which are normal signs that their body is building protection. But simple remedies that we can do after having side effects of Sinovac vaccine. The most common side effects following COVID-19 vaccines are fatigue, a fever, headaches, body aches, chills, nausea, diarrhea, and pain at the site of injection. A person may have over-the-counter medicines such as ibuprofen or paracetamol for immediate relief of fever and muscle ache. The objective of my research is to be aware and responsive of the current issue, the COVID-19 pandemic. If people will recognize the seriousness of COVID-19, they can minimize the spread and prevent infection and death. People need more information about the coronavirus, about the vaccines, possible side effects, and remedies. The research aims to discover the side effects of Sinovac vaccine to those people who got the job. I distributed a survey questionnaire online to several individuals about the side effects that they have been experienced after having the Sinovac vaccine. With this, we can identify what are the easy methods to do and recognize over-the-counter medicines for those side effects. This study seeks to include participants who are in the same household and neighborhood of the researcher, whose ages are 35 to 45 years old.
The research paper explains the side effects of Sinovac vaccine to people ages 35 to 45 years old after getting jab. I did quantitative method for this study. I gave out questionnaires for at least 20 people with the set age length. The questionnaire is about personal details in relation to their vaccines and experience about possible side effects that they have experienced after they got Sinovac vaccine.
Survey questionnaire were given to 20 participants who got Sinovac vaccines and aged 22 to 57. However, the research focused on individuals who are 35 to 45 years old. Among the 64% are females, 28 are males, and the rest percentage chose not to say. Everybody got the Sinovac vaccines. For the side effect that they experienced during the first dose, 48% is muscle pain, 24% said they felt pain in the vaccinated area, 16% experienced headache. For the second dose, 36% had muscle pain, 32% experienced nothing, and 24% had pain in inoculation area. Most participants just took enough rest, took vitamin and medicine.
A bit of system thinking is seek to understand the big picture. We have to learn and get information about the COVID-19 and how to prevent this so that we are aware of what to do if we experience the same situation.
This study is entitled Home-Based Healthcare for Kids at Home During the Pandemic to support the government program for Sustainable Development Goal 3, Good Health and Well-Being. The researchers are grade 7 students at Benedictine International School, young teens who aspire to ensure health and well-being for all, including a bold commitment to achieve universal health coverage to safe and effective physical and mental health, especially for kids at home during pandemic with ages 9 to 14, were described as young teens based by Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
When coronavirus was first reported from the Wuhan, China, to the World Health Organization WHO on December 31 of 2019, the World Health Organization WHO declares the outbreak of the virus was a global emergency class in the Philippines were called starting in March 9, 2020, and the WHO declared the virus as a pandemic. On March 11, 2020, it was first called the nCoV virus.
According to an article from CNBC, it may take 4 to 5 years before the pandemic ends and before going back to normal. Others say that it will take a few more years, and some, however, lost hope that this pandemic will end. We do not know when the virus will end, so that we must do is stay home, take your vitamins regularly, avoid going outside if not necessary, listen to healthcare experts and medical advisories to know more about staying safe in this pandemic and many more ways. While researchers are working with this study, members of the society have received the vaccinations and booster. However, pandemic has already affected our lives mentally and physically.
I'm Amanda. Because of this pandemic, I haven't gone outside normally, not attending school face to face, just staying at home in my room and do the same thing over and over every day. Sometimes feeling lonely and overthinking.
I'm Andrew. My experiences during the lockdown really changed my perception about myself and about life itself. Playing online games, the strict protocols annoyed me, frustrations took over me.
I am Prince. I developed this kind of anxiety and fear of family members getting sick. I feel lonely and depressed. Mode symptoms and depressed. I felt insecure, fearful, and isolated in times of pandemic. I can't eat well.
I am Caleb. My parents, who are working in Australia, have to cancel their flights flying home here in the Philippines that because of pandemic. I miss them so much. I'm stuck at home. That makes me gain more weight because all I do is eat, especially when I'm scared and stressed out.
My name is Kayla. I'm a Korean who came to the Philippines to study, and the pandemic prevented me to go home to my homeland to see my parents. It's been almost 3 years. It is not easy as it is to be a foreigner to gain friends in a new country. I'm a new student in this school, so I haven't even met anyone in person yet, my classmates and teachers. I don't even know how our physical school looks like. I'm far away from home without any friends. This makes me very stressed and sad.
I'm Peter. Because of pandemic, my daily routine has been totally changed. I always feel tired and worried. I miss looking at the surroundings while driving to school or going to malls and different places. I also miss going on vacation to countries and beaches with my family. I had a virtual graduation online and never had the chance to hug our teachers or say goodbye face to face my classmates, which is both upsetting and sad.
I'm Julia. There are many people who are sick because of the pandemic. My parents need to wear PPEs when going to the hospital to work, and I am scared they might get sick. I must stay home throughout the year, and it makes me spend longer times on my phone.
How I'm going to do physical and interactive in games and activity among other children that don't require gadgets.
How will I know doing simple household chores I can help have positive effects on my well-being?
How can I be fully aware of the activities and target other skills that could promote my well-being during pandemic era?
During this pandemic, we believe that we should take care of our mental health and well-being through engaging activities and applications that we can practice at home.
Each of on physical and interest games that don't require gadgets.
Do simple household chores on and enjoy its positive effects on my own well-being.
This video is a collective study that aims to create awareness of the importance of physical health and wellness and limiting screen time among children during the pandemic.
The study uses video to provide ideas on physical and interactive games and engaging children to simple chores that can be performed as a form of exercise. The study limits itself to the physical and emotional well-being and does not include nutrition advice.
Given the main purpose of this study, a qualitative case approach is used. A collective case study design is adopted and applied a narrative analysis. Qualitative methods allow the researcher to study issues in depth, with data collection often occurring through open-ended questions, permitting one to understand and capture the points of view of other people without determining those points of view through prior selection of questionnaire categories. As Criswell, in parenthesis 2013, stated, those undertaking qualitative studies have a baffling number of choices of approaches in order to reach a broader global view. This study was represented by 7 young teens with ages from 12 to 14, students of grade 7.
In such approaches, it is important to be an insider to better reflect the experiences and observations, and load meaning to the cases in question based by Douglas and Mustakas, 1985. As per Creswell, credibility and validity of qualitative research can be ensured through different approaches. Researcher triangulation is one way of ensuring the validity of the research, which refers to using different researchers from different backgrounds and answer the questions. What is the effect of pandemic in your life, in your family life, social life, mental health? How do you cope up with this pandemic? What are the activities that support you to cope with this pandemic in terms of your family relations, social life, and mental health? What are the best practices, possible coping mechanisms, common challenges on how at their age range able to cope with the pandemic?
The purpose of this study focuses on how children survive through stresses and anxiety caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has an effect on all of us no matter how old we are. Certainly, most children feel negative emotions caused by fear or anxiety the pandemic placed in them. Children may develop sources of negative feelings.
Depending on the length of time the situation lasts, the feeling of sadness or depression may develop, which could cause social withdrawal or crime. Based on the essay as evidence, discovery reveals that children felt uncertain, fearful, and isolated in this situation we are facing.
It also appears that children have experienced disturbance in sleep, nightmares, lack of appetite, agitation, being inattentive, and anxious feelings. One of the biggest things that are missing from children is routine. Going to school physically every day, physically with friends in school. These missing routines were usually done before by children. Another big factor they lack is social contact. Children who are younger are more incapable for contact with friends and relatives, which is very difficult for the young ones.
By talking and reaching out to them, and simply being there for them. Communication and connection are important to your children to feel that they are secured and so they will not feel loneliness or unaccompanied. Let children play and be physically active. Exercise helps reduce levels of stress and increase physical and mental well-being. In terms of social life, help your children stay in contact with friends, relatives, and loved ones. Let them make phone calls or video calls. They would be very glad to see and know that they are okay. Times of paramount stress and anxiety, a secure family environment, which the parents can give a strong protection factor.
We
We
will
will overcome
overcome
this
this
pandemic,
pandemic.
and soon we will go back to our old routines. But we should never forget the lessons we have learned. It is not too late to start caring for oneself and others.
Dear Ben, as you start a new journey, you will break away with what you come to understand about the world. There is so much out there waiting for you. Worlds to be explored, people to meet, dreams to be fulfilled. It will be uncomfortable, and the uncertainty might even make you feel afraid. But it's okay. There will be people who will see the best in you even at first glance. And especially at times when you yourself doubt it. Choose to commit to your own growth. Be a student of life and discover a world of possibilities. There will be tests for sure, but let the people around you mirror your greatness. At the inmost cave of your own fears, you'll battle it out with your dragons, and a part of you will come to pass. But at that fleeting moment, something beautiful will emerge. Receive the gifts of your own labor, and with a grateful heart, celebrate your success. Honor what you have become, and give back. For your transformation is no longer just for your dreams, but for the world. Embrace what you are becoming. Be the grandest version of yourself. So go ahead, continue living your story. With love, Ben.